It'll be on my, it'll start streaming soon, I think. My videos? Live? I don't know how to, like, share it with you. Okay. What is my fucking thing? My banner for my account is so dumb. Yeah. Yeah, look. Watch my live. Oh. It's a bit behind, but you watch my stream and then tell me what you want me to pick. I can't, though. It doesn't work. I'm on PlayStation, you know. You moron. Because it is. What name do you want? This is the Stanley Parable 6, by the way. I don't know. It's like a torn piece of paper and it says not for me. Yeah. It's stupid, but yeah. No, I can't. It doesn't work. There's not going to be anyone on anyway, so it doesn't matter. I don't like that. I want to do baby spiders. Dr. Spiders. Look, it's him. That's Dr. Spiders right there. Yeah, I know.
This is the story
Of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a building where he's employee number 427.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and if This is what employee 427 did every day, every month, from every year.
Are you watching like the intro cutscene?
Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Oh.
Stanley
Damn.
was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever
Dr. Spiders, look.
Something he would never quite forget.
Did someone join?
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years
I don't know.
had this happened. This complete...
It's funny. It's funny to like pretend like I'm a streamer.
Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time.
People think that
As
I'm
he
like
came to his
talking to
wits and
myself.
regained his senses,
Like I've got
he
voices
got
in
up
my
from his
head.
desk and stepped out of his office.
What do you want me to do? I can shut the door if you want.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell
No,
under
I'm
his
stuck now.
responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy.
Okay.
Forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed.
But it's but chat plays the game though, Mason. The delayed
Then days.
shit.
Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Should I go to the meeting room?
Stanley looked,
Do you want me to go to the meeting room?
he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. Cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
I'm going in. Just became dark. Oh. What is this?
I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Is this a bucket?
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about
It's like
what
a game
is
show.
or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Yeah.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Is it a bucket? I think Unreal.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Okay,
Item 3.
that has to be a
Is this a
bucket.
bucket?
No, it's not.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Okay, that
Item
is
4.
definitely a bucket.
Is this a bucket? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Okay. It wasn't a bucket, apparently.
Is this a bucket?
No, that's a tractor.
Incorrect. This is a bucket. Item 6.
Okay,
Is
no.
this a bucket?
No, that's a tractor.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Shit.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone?
What do you mean?
Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket? Oh my god, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I am not a bucket after all.
Why is it that bad?
You're still here. You're not a bucket either. This is
I think this is made in Unreal.
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what,
I think this is made in Unreal.
we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt
Oh,
away.
there's two people watching. Yeah.
Stanley
someone
clutched
else.
the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. but Stanley had felt the bucket
He
calling
can't
to
hear
him,
you.
telling him that the employee lounge was
You
simply the place
moron.
to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was there no... Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting
No.
room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching. All of his co-workers were
We're gone.
What could it mean?
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was no... Never mind.
The bucket wasn't
The bucket
correct.
was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the...
Is this made in Unreal? I think this is made in Unreal.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here, it looks like the only way forward is down, since the lift won't be coming back, but that's okay. You've got a bucket. Did you know that buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices? It's true. You can fall on a bucket from literally any height and survive. Whoops. Looks like I was wrong.
What?
How clumsy of me.
I think it's made in Unreal.
Wait,
I think this is
Stanley
made in
thought to
Unreal.
himself, am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. No, the orders were still missing. For now.
I think this is made in Unreal.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be
I'm not
alone
funny
with
enough to be a streamer.
Not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly.
No, you'd end up getting banned in a day.
But Stanley had felt the bucket
Or your
calling
jokes
to him,
involve the
telling
N-word.
him that the
And just like
employee
random
lounge
shit.
was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it no? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo.
It's literally just piece of shitting. That's what it is. Like, it's being a piece of shit.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get me.
What's that? Who's there?
Damn. Shit. He just got eaten by the poo monster.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we? The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Well, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it would ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. His stupid hunk of metal.
My
Sad. I
name
suppose he doesn't need
is
me anymore.
Stanley,
From now on, he's
and
just going to
this
cling to
is
this bucket, this
my
cold,
parable.
empty bucket. This sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
This is my bucket, my Stanley's bucket.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no. I'm having feelings. The bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket,
Oh my
this would be
God.
less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Look, Mason. Are you watching? What's it like? What does it look like? It's the bucket. It's like it wants to be with me.
Stanley, give me the bucket.
No,
Give
it's
it to
my
me.
bucket.
Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
It's one of my favorite endings. I like that one.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
What was it supposed to look like? I don't know, that room.
Stanley
It
clutched
didn't
the
feel
bucket
right.
tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Really? I don't know.
Stepping in,
No. Maybe. Maybe. And then we could be together. Whoa. I think it's the other way around, buddy. I think it's... Yeah. Yeah. Bye. I love you, Bucket. I miss you.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Alright, bye.